on April 3, 1985. Because no one opened the door to the three women. Annie Massey, who had a spare key, entered the HAYSOM family's home at the request of the three women who were Mr. HAYSOM's bridge buddies. They were astounded to discover the HAYSOMs lying on the floor, bloody. Derek William Reginald HAYSOM, a 72-year-old South African engineer, was on the side near the door. His wife, Nancy Esther Langhorne Benedict, or her husband called her Sita, 53 years old, an American, was lying on the kitchen floor. Both of their bodies were full of stab wounds, and their necks were almost decapitated. It is believed that they had died several days earlier. The HAYSOMs had one child, Elizabeth Roxanne, who was raised in the province of Nova Scotia, Canada, where Derek managed a steel mill. Their home was located on Holcomb Rock Street, Boonsboro neighborhood, Lynchburg, Bedford County, Virginia, USA, and Nancy nicknamed her home Loose Chippings, or the gravel that littered the street. Officers soon swarmed Loose Chippings and detectives questioned neighbors. There was no sign of forced entry or murder weapons, but there were bloody footprints. One footprint was made by a tennis shoe, and the other two by socks. DNA analysis was largely unavailable in 1985, but from these samples it was thought possible to reconstruct a sequence of events. That sometime between March 29 and 31, 1985, the killer or killers arrived at Loose Chippings, and at dinner time, here they attacked the couple, evidenced by the presence of food on the dinner table, and a high alcohol content in Derek's body. Derek and Nancy's only daughter, Elizabeth Roxanne HAYSOM, was born on April 15, 1964 in Salisbury, Southern Rhodesia, now Harare, Zimbabwe. Arranged for her parents' funeral. When Elizabeth, 20, was accepted to the University of Virginia on scholarship, on August 25, 1984, she met Jens Suring, 18, a German-born Thai and the son of a West German diplomat, at orientation day. They immediately were a good fit for each other and began dating. But HAYSOM's parents appeared to disapprove of their relationship. During the holidays, they exchanged letters in which they expressed their hatred for their parents. When Suring attempted to become closer to HAYSOM's parents by paying them a visit alone, an argument erupted during dinner, and he killed both of them. After that, he and HAYSOM rented a car and proceeded to Washington, D.C. to set up an alibi. They were initially disregarded as suspects, but when authorities discovered that the entire distance of the rental car much surpassed the one round trip to Washington, D.C. that they claimed to have taken, their attention was swiftly drawn to them. The pair fled, uncomfortable with the circumstances. 6 months after the murders, after visiting numerous countries, Suring and HAYSOM traveled to the United Kingdom, where they were caught on April 30, 1986. HAYSOM, 23, pled guilty to 2 counts of being an accessory to murder before the incident in 1987, and received a 90-year jail sentence, one 45-year sentence for each murder to be served consecutively. Despite pleading not guilty, Suring was convicted guilty at his trial in 1990, and sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences for first-degree murder. HAYSOM was set to be automatically paroled in 2032, 45 years after her sentence. However, after serving more than 30 years, Elizabeth Roxanne HAYSOM, 55, was freed in 2019, and in January 2020, she was deported to her native Canada. While Jens Suring, 53, was also given parole in November 2019, and repatriated to his native Germany.